and why did Turner capture this reelection? I'm going straight to Charles Blain.
It's a game of turnout. I mean, and he did it. He activated his base. I think Turner, you just saw it in that clip. He has a great way about him when it comes to getting people excited, when it comes to really getting people to feel that they should be engaged and they should buy into it, and he was able to pull that off. You mentioned it, that it's kind of eroding faith in the election. Well, it's kind of the same thing that the Democrats have been doing the entire time by calling him an illegitimate president and actually trying to draw this idea that the election didn't proceed as it should, and we shouldn't have faith in what happened. 80% of Black Americans polled just last week said they want the same, if not more, police in their neighborhoods. They just want better relationships.
Does this amount to what some folks call tough love? I pose that question to you, Charles Blain.
It's tough love, but there's opportunity out there and people need to take it. We're the 22nd state to do this, so that we're not alone. And according to the Texas Workforce Commission, there's 60% more jobs posted today than in February 2020. 76% of those jobs pay more than $11.50 per hour, which it's not an amazing pay, but it is better than minimum wage. And only 2% of the ones posted pay minimum wage. So there are opportunities now this speech doing is to allow him to unify, at the very least, the right behind him, by really emphasizing things like the economy and some of the other work that he's done and work that he can do. I mean, it's unique for all the reasons that you guys have mentioned, but also because he has been being attacked. And now we're under a new Democratic administration that I think will allow him to kind of focus on a target and really unify the base behind him, which is something he hasn't had in a long time.
I find out that you are part of Prison Entrepreneurship Program, which happens to be an organization that I sit on the advisory board of. So for those who don't know, Prison Entrepreneurship Program, they help guys who are nearing release. They help them develop business plans and get out and start businesses. And I think some of the stats are 42% of guys who got out own homes. Yes. There's like $4.3 million in taxpayer savings from the recidivism rate. And
what we've been talking about today a lot is this strong mayor form of government. I kind of want to get your perspective on that, what that means to you and what you've seen here in the city of Houston and in other cities.
Can we even define hate speech anymore, Charles?
Well, good morning, Jimmy. And no, that's exactly the problem. There is no definition of it. I mean, I was doing some research about this, and there was a poll just a few years ago where Americans had a varying perspective on what hate speech means. But even when you look at just Amazon, they can't even clearly define their policy. So, no, if you're a conservative author and you want to sell a book on Amazon, you better be a little worried because the policy is very vague and it's going to be hard to comply with. So things like that. But it's really hard to discern exactly where this money is coming from.
Yeah, we always talk about following the money, but it's incredibly and getting ever more so difficult to do that, isn't it?
Exactly. Follow the money has been the mantra for a long time to really see why people do the things that they do, but it's getting harder and harder to do that. And specifically with this network that has kind of been pushing Biden to move forward on an infrastructure bill without Republican support, they have just kind of taken it to the next level.
Talked a lot about local issues today, and what we said numerous times here were that people deal in politics every single day of their lives, whether they want to or not. So because of that, that's more of a reason that you should be engaged in the process. We focus at Urban Reform heavily on the local level because I truly feel that's where impact can be made much easier and much quicker. The things that your city council passes on a weekly basis, you're going to feel the following week. That might not happen with your state legislature or with Congress.
There are just large swaths of people in our inner cities who are struggling and don't realize that they have the power and the agency to go to City Hall and fix those problems.